Hello, my crafty lovelies. It is Pamela, and I wanted to share my tote of hope that I finished. I finished it a week or two ago, but I thought I would share it with you so you could see it. And I have been following Kate in the Nest. I will leave a link in the description box if you're not familiar with her. But I was going to make a tote with this mohair, and I already made it into a bag. And then I found Kate's channel, and I thought, well, I am going to follow along with her and do what she's doing. And so I put this one aside, and we'll do that at another time. But I did want to share with you this one. So I'm just going to come in a little bit so you can see the stitching and all the piecing, and I'll try and move slowly so you don't get too dizzy. But I just added a few things since my original video when I showed this side. But this is a vintage pin that I found at an estate sale, and I just thought it was really pretty. And so I added that. And let's see, I made a closure with a button, and I made a tassel, and I just twisted it, and so it just loops over. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Sorry, I can't film in the other room because it's just too dark. Anyway, see this? I just twisted it, and I sewed it on the other side under a button, so it just slides over and closes it. But I just love it. It's so fun, lots of stitching and little treasures that mean something to me. Someone made this for me a while back, and it's just so pretty. I thought it was perfect here. So that's what I did with that. And I added some buttons. I did move this piece from the side. I think I showed this side. It was partially done. Let me see if I can get it. Sorry, it's a little cramped in this area. I'm just sitting in the living room where I do my stitching in my little stitching corner. But here is the side, and I put an OXO and just some little bits of vintage crochet and lace and fabric, and did a little bit of stitching. Did another word, oasis, and a little vintage button and laces. And this is a stamped piece that I made a long time ago. And let me flip this over. And this is the other side. This is the P side, H-O-P-E. So I put paradise. And just let me give you a little look-see here. I used this piece of net from a tablecloth and did some ribbon work, just a little bit. This is a piece from a Indian sari piece, needle point from a vintage pillow. This is just actually from a pillow. You can see the stitching, the holes where the tassels came out, and I just saved it and thought it was great. Another vintage yo-yo, some vintage sari trim. Did some bullion stitches here in these flowers. This is a butterfly, a crocheted butterfly. Just little bits and pieces here. I did a collaged heart, and I added that to the piece. Here's another sari piece, just pretty bling piece, and I added some lace and more sari trim there. This vintage piece of pom-pom trim and vintage button. I have a lot of really cool vintage buttons, so these projects are great for that kind of thing. More yo-yos. And then the side, I'll get this side. This is obviously from a crochet doily. I put the word ethereal. That means something to me, that word, so put that on there. And just some more stitching. Here's a little crocheted piece and then a crocheted flower on top of it. And that is my bag. So on the bottom, if you want to see, I did some upholstery pieces that are heavy that will hold well. And then let me show you the inside. The inside, I used this fabric. I wanted to use something really bright, but I didn't have enough to make it work, and I didn't want to buy anything because I am trying to use what I have. And then I made a crossbody strap, and this is cotton webbing, and I stitched together a bunch of pieces of fabric, and then I laid it on top of it and stitched it down, and I made some little loops with the same piece, extra lengths of this, and added this strap. And I made this bag thinking, and I probably will, but I made it thinking I am going to use use it for some of my stitchery things, which I have done. I have used it for that, like if I'm going out. People in my family have had several surgeries, and so I've had to kind of go along and take care of them and wait in the hospital. And anyway, so I put stitchery in it, but I've been carrying it as a purse because I love it so much. And it is crossbody, and this is super sturdy, and it hits me just right at the hip, just kind of half the purse is, midway of the purse is on my hip. And it is awesome. I love it. It is so great. And of course, everything I make, my sisters are like, I need one now, but they do love it. I love it. I think it's fabulous. Let me know what you think. Have you been stitching? I just love slow stitching, and I have some other projects that I will probably film and show you over the next week or so, but I definitely needed to show you this because it is done, and it is gorgeous, and it's so tactile, and it's not super heavy, but it's got some weight to it, but I like that because it's just so nice. So anyway, that is what I have been up to. I hope you've been stitching and have been happy and well, and God bless, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.